Hey everyone, so today I wanted to share the best and worst new drugstore launches. I actually filmed a video like this back in January, and normally I don't have so many like back-to-back drugstore reviews, but there have been so many drugstore launches so far in 2023. So I've been testing out all of these products for the last few weeks, and I wanted to share some updates. I did a couple of videos where I was actually trying them on and testing them out on camera for the first time. So if you want to see them in action, I'll link those videos below. But now that I've had the chance to really thoroughly use them and pair them with other products, I wanted to come back and let you know what I think is worth the money. So I have products that I don't recommend that I think are just poor quality that I would skip over, products that I think are really good, but you might have something similar in your collection, so it might not be necessary for you, and then products that I love that are my top favorites that have already become like a staple part of my routine. So I'm going to kind of split it into categories. Actually, before we do that though, let me start with these three products because I haven't actually used these on camera or talked about them at all yet because they are a little bit newer to me. Okay, let's start with this product. This was sold out for a long time on Ulta's website. I mean, they just launched it beginning of 2023, but I feel like it sold out instantly. And then I ordered it and I saw a couple of poor reviews, so I was like, oh great, it's not going to work for me. It's not a super inexpensive product. It's right around $15. Although at the time I'm filming this, Flower Beauty is buy one, get one half off on Ulta's website right now. I think maybe until like the end of the month or like at least for this week. So if you're interested in their products, now's a great time to try them out. But anyway, this is the Flower Beauty Lowlight Liquid Contour. I have the shade Light. A lot of people are saying this looks super patchy on the skin. It dries down way too fast. So I think with that in mind, I just kind of worked quickly with it. The first few times I was using it, I applied it to one section of my face and then blended out before moving on to another section. And honestly, I didn't have any issues with it. It does not look patchy on my skin at all. I think it actually looks really smooth, super seamless. I don't have a lot of experience with liquid bronzers or liquid contours, and I have not tried the Charlotte Tilbury liquid contour that a lot of people are saying this is a dupe for. So I don't know if that one is significantly better, if, it looks different on the skin. But if I'm just judging this product on its own, I think the quality is really great. I think it's very, very easy to work with. It looks a little bit intimidating when I first apply it to my skin, but as it blends out, it looks very natural on the skin, very, very smooth, really seamless. It definitely does dry down pretty quickly, so I would recommend working in sections or doing one side of your face before the other. But I think because it does dry down and it stays in place well, it is a great long wearing option. Again, I know this one does have some mixed reviews, so maybe watch a couple of reviews before you buy it, but for me, I'll definitely continue to use it and I think it's worth the money. Another liquid cheek product, this is the Milani Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush Highlight. This is in the shade Luminoso. So Milani did like an entire Luminoso collection based on their gorgeous baked blush in the shade Luminoso, which is one of my favorites. And this is the main product from the collection that I was excited to try because I love the blush. I think it is so stunning. And this is supposed to be like a blush highlighter combo. And I do think this looks really pretty on the skin. I definitely find it to be more of a highlighter than a blush. I guess maybe depending on your skin tone. If you have a very fair skin tone, you probably could use this as a blush. But if not, it is a little bit lighter, pretty soft, and I don't think that you can build up the color too much. I'm wearing it today as a highlighter, and I think it's so pretty. It's like the most beautiful, soft, corally pink. But it also leans like a little bit bronzy. I think it does look really nice as a blush topper, so if you were to use a more pigmented blush underneath, this is going to give you kind of like the Luminoso effect, a little bit of a glow. I enjoy this. The only thing that I don't like about this is the packaging, and I feel like this is the same packaging as their newer liquid bronzers and liquid highlighters. It just gets really messy. It doesn't have like that on and off switch that other products do, so when you're just like using it and holding it and you put a little pressure on it, product is going to come out and then it gets all over the cap, all over the applicator. It's not the end of the world by any means, but it does get pretty messy, so just something I wanted to point out. But the actual formula is gorgeous. Very lightweight, very glowy without being super over the top or overly metallic. It looks really pretty on the skin. I also ordered these new lip oils from NYX. These are the Fat Oil Lip Drips. I feel like the name is just weird. It doesn't really match up with the marketing. I don't really understand why they went with it. The only thing that I can kind of match up with the name is the actual applicator, which is a little bit bigger because they keep saying it comes with like a fat applicator. But name aside, I was really curious to try these out. NYX does such a good job with their lip products, and I love a good lip oil. There are so many amazing options these days. But in general, when a drugstore brand launches a lip oil, I want to try it out. The thing about these that I saw online that looked a little bit different than other brands is the fact that they have a little bit more pigment to them. A lot of lip oils are very sheer, kind of undetectable in terms of like the color they add to your lips. Some might tint them like berry, some might tint them red toned, but these looked really pigmented based on the photos I saw online, which for me was just a little bit different for a lip oil. I would say they have a good amount of pigment to them. I wouldn't say they're quite as vibrant as they look online, which I actually prefer. So you get good color payoff, but it's not anything over the top. I think these look so pretty on the lips, but I don't know that I would really describe them as a lip oil. If I tried this formula without knowing it was a lip oil or it was marketed as a lip oil, I would probably assume it was just a gloss. I feel like the line between lip oils and lip glosses has been blurred. And a lot of brands are calling something that I would consider to be a lip oil a lip gloss, like the Covergirl lip glosses. Those kind of feel like a lip oil. And then other brands are calling something that feels more like a gloss a lip oil, like NYX, if that makes sense. So I would say if you are looking for like a true lip oil, to skip over these because these do have a stickiness to them. They definitely feel tacky on the lips, which makes them a little bit longer lasting. So I find that when I apply one of these, it lasts so much longer than a traditional lip oil because it doesn't have that super slick, thin, glossy feel. It definitely has like a tackiness to it. It looks so glossy, very, very pretty. They feel incredibly hydrating even once they start to wear off. But again, it's not like your typical lip oil feel. So I don't know. I love these. I think the formula is nice, but I do think the marketing is a little bit off, kind of like with their new Blur foundation. I think a lot of people were expecting like a very skin-like skin tint, but it is more of a matte full coverage foundation. Again, I love these. I went with two deeper shades. I think they're so pretty. I will be wearing them a ton. The rest of these products are things that I've either used in like a testing new makeup video or I might have touched on in a haul video. So if you've watched some of my recent videos, you've probably heard me talk about them, but I wanted to share some updates. So let's start with the products that I don't recommend. I just don't think the quality is there. The first one is from Covergirl. This is the Clean Invisible Loose Setting Powder. I have the shade 105 Translucent Fair. Initially, this product looks really good on the skin. I think it looks a little bit more natural for a powder. Some powders can be overly mattifying, some are maybe a little bit too soft. This one kind of falls in the middle. It does feel like a thicker powder, so as you're applying it to the skin, it almost feels like you can feel it. Like there's a little bit of a cakiness to it. So that for me is something that is a con. I do like my powder to be a little bit more lightweight these days. The other big con for me is the packaging. It's just so messy. The lid actually pops off, and I think you can probably see there's like powder floating everywhere. So for me, I typically like pour a little bit into the cap, but then I have to pop the cap back on, and it's just such a messy process. So I don't like this packaging. I wish there was like a little closure so you could close it over the powder just to keep things a little bit neater. Anyway, when I first apply it to my skin, it looks nice, very natural. It's not overly matte, but it makes my foundation look so heavy after just a few hours. And no matter what foundation or base products I'm wearing underneath, I end up looking really cakey. So I definitely attribute it to this powder because I've used it with like my go-to foundation, with new foundations, and no matter what I do, my foundation always ends up looking and honestly feeling just very, very heavy with this powder. Another product that looks very cakey on my skin is this blush from Essence. I wanted to love this so much because it has the most gorgeous, like naturally luminous finish. It looks so healthy on the skin. It gives your cheeks like a glow, but it's not too over the top, and I love the color. But unfortunately, the actual texture of this product is a little bit too heavy for me. I deal with a lot of texture on my cheeks, so I feel like if I'm not using like a lighter cream blush, it can instantly look very, very heavy. And this product is very creamy, but it's kind of thick for a cream blush. So I feel like as I apply it to my skin, whether I apply it directly to my skin or I just use a brush, it always ends up looking very, very heavy, and it really highlights the texture on my skin and makes my skin look even more textured than it is. I love the color, I love the luminosity, but the actual texture is a little bit heavy. And this does have a very strong scent. It's kind of like a watermelon scent, which I like. I feel like it would be great for a lip product, but for a blush, it's kind of intense. So if you don't like scented products, skip over this. Did I mention the scent on everything else? These NYX lip oils also have a scent, kind of like a fruity scent, but I would say it's pretty pleasant. Actually, I have a few more Essence products to talk about. This one is the Hydro Hero Primer. It is a 48-hour hydrating primer with hyaluronic acid, cucumber extract. I just didn't really like this primer. Normally, I am a fan of very thin, super hydrating primers, but I noticed when I wore this, my foundation broke down so quickly, which is weird because that doesn't typically happen with more of a hydrating base. So I don't know if there is like an ingredient in here that my skin doesn't like. It feels really good on the skin, but I wouldn't say that it provides like long-lasting hydration. Once you apply it to the skin, it dries down and my skin doesn't necessarily feel like super hydrated underneath my foundation. Essence launched a hydrating primer that they kind of market as like a primer and skincare all-in-one last year that I definitely recommend. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It comes in like a dropper bottle. It's blue. It's very thin, serum-like. I'll link that one below because I think that one is an amazing alternative, but my foundation just does not wear well on top of this product. And again, it's not super hydrating anyway, so I would say skip over it. I had really high hopes for these LA Girl liners. These are the Stellar Ink Foil liners. These swatch really nicely, like they look really pretty, and honestly they do look better if you're wearing like a fully matte look, which was my initial thought when I tried them out. If you wear any sort of shimmer on the lid or even like a satin shadow, these are going to really lose their luster and not really show up. Maybe that's not the case with the deeper options because I do have two lighter options, but these really only pop if I'm wearing matte shadows. I'm really not like a big all matte shadow fan. I pretty much always wear some sort of shimmer all over the eyes, so I feel like that's not ideal for the way that I like to do my makeup. On top of that, these don't last very long. I used this shade Sunbeam like 3 times and I felt like it dried out and I had to store it upside down. I had to really shake it every time I used it. So I really don't know that there is a ton of product in these, or maybe the way they're set up just doesn't allow the product to get all the way to the felt tip, but it feels like a lot of effort to apply them after the first few uses. LA Girl does do metallic pencil liners, which do a great job on the waterline or the upper lash line. Those are very vibrant, super creamy, very easy to work with. So I would say skip over the liquid liners and just go with the pencil liners because these just really weren't worth the money. The last fail is this product from Essence. I actually like the formula of the mascara, and I feel like you can get there. Like, it looks good on the eyes, but the wand is just so big. And I don't know, I just have a hard time with it. I've tried other wands in the past, other large ones I've enjoyed, like the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara. I think that one is pretty good, but I do feel like these days I prefer a smaller wand so I can really apply the product where I want to and build it up where I want to. This one just makes such a mess on my eyes, and I don't even really have small eyes, so I do feel like if you have smaller eyes than me, you might have even more of a difficult time. But, to be honest, I do kind of apply my mascara haphazardly anyway, and I feel like I always end up with mascara on my lid. It's just really amplified with this product. It's hard to get the outer corners, it's hard to get the inner corners. It is curved, but because the mascara wand is so big, I don't know that that curve is really like lifting and curling my lashes. It does give me a lot of volume, a lot of length. I think it is more of a dramatic formula. It's pretty wet, so you can build it up. But I just feel like the actual wand is a little bit too big for me personally. So I don't like it. There are so many good mascaras out there. Essence has a ton of great options. I prefer the Lash Princess mascaras. I feel like this is a very similar formula. It doesn't flake or smudge on me, and it does build nicely, but the wand just makes it more difficult to use. The rest of the products in today's video are products that I think are really good quality. Like, the quality is there, the price point is fair, I enjoy how they wear and apply, and I'll definitely continue to use them, but I kind of split them into 2 categories. Like, products I really like, but I don't necessarily think are like run out and buy because you might have something similar, and then products I love so much that are like my top favorites. The first one is from Flower Beauty. This is the Skin Smoothie Radiant Glow Primer. I think this is a gorgeous primer. It has a really beautiful natural radiance to it. It's not too over the top. It's not quite as intense as like the e.l.f. Halo Glow filter, but it definitely gives you a beautiful smooth glow. It also has a very lightweight smooth base, so I feel like your skin is just evened out. You have just like that gorgeous luminosity, and it does show up under, or if you wear foundation on top, it does kind of peek through the foundation. One potential con, this does have like obvious shimmer in it. So you can see that on the skin. If you're wearing foundation on top, I don't feel like you can notice that you're wearing shimmer in your base, but I do think that might be a big con for people. The only reason why, it's in this category instead of like a top favorite is because I have products like this. I have the e.l.f. Halo Glow filter, which I think does a good job. That's pretty customizable, so you can build it up or sheer it out. And I think a lot of us do have like glowy base products at this point. If you don't and you're looking for something that does give you that glow, I think you'll enjoy it, and I'll definitely continue to use it. I just feel like there are other products out there that are kind of similar. It's kind of the same case with this primer from Essence. I think it is a great great primer. I just have very similar products to it in my collection already. This is the Poreless Partner Primer. It's meant to mattify and blur the skin. I think it does a great job at evening out your skin. So if you deal with a lot of texture or breakouts or even dry skin, you might like this because it just glides over any of those areas. And when you wear foundation on top, it looks so smooth. And what I like about this primer is I can use significantly less foundation. Because it kind of creates like this very smooth, even canvas, I feel like half a pump of foundation does it for me because it just stretches a little bit more. And I just think it does mattify my skin just a little bit. So I think it is such a good option. I would say it's very similar to the Catrice mattifying primer. So if you like that, but you want something maybe slightly more smoothing, this is a really good option. Actually, maybe it is like a top favorite. I can't really think of any cons for me personally. I just feel like I do have primers that are kind of similar. You know what I think it could be a dupe for? I kind of wonder. I want to wear them next to each other. The Cali Ray So Blown Primer. I feel like this one is very, very similar to that. I need to wear them next to each other, but I just thought of that. I feel like this is a really good alternative, and I think this one is like $5. So I do love it. I'm taking this out and moving it into like the top favorites category. Two lip gloss formulas that I'm really, really enjoying from the drugstore. The Makeup Revolution Ceramide Lip Swirl lip glosses. These are so nice. Now, I wouldn't consider these like a super glossy gloss. They almost feel like a lip gloss lip balm combo. If you've tried the Too Faced Hangover lip balms or lip treatments, that's what these kind of feel like, but maybe not quite as nourishing. They're really nice, and I think they're not, you know, overly glossy, so a lot of people might not necessarily love that, but if you do like more of a balmy, nourishing feel with more of a natural shine, I think you'll enjoy these. I've been wearing these a lot. I think people said these are supposed to be a dupe for a Givenchy lip gloss. I'm not sure what that formula is like. I know that they are kind of designed to look very similar, but again, I'm not 100% sure. I do think that these are not quite as intense as they look online. Again, the swatches look very, very vibrant, and I think you can build them up to some extent, but overall I do get more of a sheer look. My favorite is definitely Cherry Mauve. It just gives your lips like this really pretty cool toned tint, which I think is kind of unique compared to other formulas I have. So if you are looking for a nourishing formula that's more balmy than gloss-like, I think you'll really like these. But if you're looking for like a super intense glossy gloss, you're not going to enjoy them. Essence also launched a lip gloss formula that is super, super glossy, but you do get like that nourishing aspect. These are the Extreme Care Hydrating Gloss Lip Balms, or Glossy Lip Balms. Why are my labels already worn off? I don't know. I have worn these quite a bit, but not that much. I mean, I've only had them for a few weeks, but these are very thick. If you like a really thick, nourishing lip gloss, I think you'll enjoy these. These feel really nice, and they do last on the lips a little bit better. I mean, as with any like thicker lip product, I do think it's going to give you like that long-term hydration, and they don't dry out my lips at all. They feel super nourishing. They're very glossy, very, very smoothing. I really enjoy them. I do think they can look a little bit streaky on the lips, especially this shade. This one is Milky Cocoa. I don't typically love this one on its own. Usually I'll end up wearing it over a lip liner on top of a lipstick, but I have been wearing the shade Soft Peach on its own quite a bit, and it just gives me like a really pretty pink wash of color. I think they also have a clear one too. I don't think these are mind-blowing lip glosses by any means, but I do think they are really pretty. They definitely have like that nourishing feel to them, but a super intense glossy finish as well. Last product in this category, this is the LA Girl Lift Off Instant Lash Lifting Definition Mascara. So I guess a lot of people are saying this is a tubing mascara. They do describe it as a washable mascara, but not a tubing mascara, which I don't know that this is like a true tubing mascara. I guess it's not to me, because when I wash my face at the end of the night, like this does come off with water, but it doesn't come off in tubes or like pieces like a lot of other tubing mascaras do. So I just wanted to put that out there. But if you guys have tried it, I would love to know what you think. I do think it is a very dramatic mascara. You can build it up to look really intense on the eyes. You can get a ton of volume, really long length. The wand is kind of weird. Like I'll do a close-up shot for you. So there is like a main part of the wand, and then it looks like the bristles on the rest of the wand almost got chopped off. So I don't even use that part of the wand. I just use like the thicker ball end of the wand. And because it is a little bit smaller, I feel like it almost takes me twice as long to do my lashes because I have to work in sections because it doesn't hit all of my lashes at the same time. It is a very buildable formula. It looks really dramatic. It stays in place well without smudging or flaking on me, and then it does come off easily at the end of the night. So I think it is a nice option. I just don't think it's going to be like my go-to mascara because it does take me a little bit longer to use it because the wand is so small. Let's finish up with my top favorites. I love this mascara so much. I feel like it's going to be my new go-to mascara. I actually already repurchased it because I was placing an Ulta order and then Flower Beauty was having that deal, so I picked up the mascara as a backup for when I run out of this. It is the Dream Warrior Volumizing Mascara. Honestly, based on the description, I did not expect to like this as much as I do. I think I did try it out on camera for the first time. This is a very voluminous mascara. It does a great job at lifting the lashes and really opening up the eyes, but I also feel like it does a good job at separating and adding length at the same time. Like, it is the perfect all-in-one mascara for me. It's definitely buildable, so you can go in with a lighter layer or you can build it up to get something really dramatic and intense. I love it on the lower lashes. It stays in place well. It is a little bit difficult to remove at the end of the night. I'll use like my go-to cleansing balms or cleansing oils, and they don't completely take it off. I have to use the waterproof Garnier Micellar water to take this off. So that is a potential con. That isn't really something that bothers me because it does stay in place well throughout the day, but it is something I wanted to point out. So I love this. I think it looks so good on the lashes, and I mean, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I really, really enjoy it. So this is definitely one of my favorites. I also absolutely love the new Essence Pure Nude Baked Blushes. These look so good on the skin. Today I'm wearing the shade Cool Coral. I just can't get enough of these. I think they look very smooth, very glowy. They're very easy to work with. You can go in with a light hand. You can build them up. They look great on top of creams, on top of powders. Like, they're really just like an ideal blush formula for me, and they're $6. I just did a video recently sharing some drugstore dupes and affordable alternatives, and I feel like if you like the vibe of the Hourglass blushes, you'll like these. They're not an exact dupe. I do feel like the textures are a little bit different. The Hourglass blushes are maybe even like a little bit more subtle and a little bit softer on the skin, and I do feel like these can be a little bit more intense, which might be more ideal, but I love them. I really haven't been reaching for any other powder blush since trying these. I'm not really on a big eyeshadow palette kick right now, and I don't know that there have been a ton of eyeshadow palette launches, but for the most part, they don't typically appeal to me these days. I'm just kind of enjoying what I have. I have been trying out some different drugstore formulas. Today, I just have a mix of like 4 different eyeshadow palettes on my eyes. One shade from the Natasha Denona Retro palette, a couple of shades from the ColourPop Blush, or what's that palette? Blush Crush palette. I also have ColourPop's Super Shock Shadow and Frog all over my lid. So I don't know, I've just kind of been like mixing and matching all of my existing palettes, which has been nice. I have tried a couple of new drugstore palettes though, and my favorite formula has been this one from LA Girl. These are the 4Play eyeshadow palettes. These are gorgeous. They're so easy to work with. I have a video where I was using this one. This one is Seduce. And the look just came together so perfectly. The shadows blend out without any effort. It's so easy to work with. And I feel like this is just such a nice formula to have if you're someone who doesn't want to put a lot of thought into your eyeshadow, because it does perform really well. It's very easy to work with. And then you get 4 shadows that go really nicely together. I also have this one in Cowgirl. I haven't been using this one quite as much because I don't know, like the brown shade for me isn't like my ideal brown. It does go really well with the green in here. And again, I feel like the actual quality is great, but I do feel like the Seduce palette will be like a staple in my collection. I think they did a couple of more colorful quads as well, but the quality is great. I mean, LA Girl shadows as a whole, I think perform really well, but I was just really impressed by these. So if you want to see this one in action, I'll link that video below, but I've been using them a lot and they're affordable. They're like, I think they're like $7. I just checked, they're $6. I know that I had really good things to say about the CoverGirl quads, but those are more expensive. I think they're like twice the price on Ulta's website. So I would say skip those and go for the LA Girl ones because these are great. And I do think they have more variety. I don't know that they have as many color stories, but I feel like there's more variety. Like there are colorful quads and neutral quads, whereas the CoverGirl ones tend to lean more neutral. This is random, but I love the Essence Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base. I'm wearing this on my eyes today, which you can't tell. But the thing that's different about this primer compared to other eyeshadow primers is I feel like I don't have to set this one. A lot of the time when I go in with an eyeshadow primer, I set it into place with like a light matte shadow because I feel like a lot of shadows don't blend that well on top of primers. They're like a little bit sticky or tacky, and that extends the wear of your makeup, but it doesn't make like the most ideal base if you want a smooth, even look. I can wear this and then just blend shadow right on top and I don't have any issues. It's very, very creamy, very smooth. Like it doesn't have a sticky or tacky texture to it, but it doesn't feel matte like it would when I apply a shadow on top. So it's really interesting to me because my makeup applies well. Like it looks very smooth, very even, and it stays in place well, but it's a different type of base for me. It's a very silky primer. Like it feels really creamy on the eyes. I would say if you're someone who likes to prime your eyes with concealer, then you might like the feel of this because it feels thinner than concealer, but it has like kind of a similar texture where it's not sticky, but like there's a little bit of a grip. So I've been using this one nonstop since I got it. I think the last product from Essence that I wanted to talk about are these Hydra Matte lipsticks. These are gorgeous. These feel like high-end lipsticks, but they're only a few dollars. They definitely have like a satin leaning matte finish to them, but they're very comfortable. They have amazing pigmentation. They're very lightweight, super creamy. They're really, really stunning on the lips. I really like this shade, which is Coral Competence. It definitely stains my lips. So when I wear this, even after like that initial layer wears off, my lips are stained with color all day long. So I love these. I think they're really long lasting for more of like a cream lipstick formula. And again, they have more of like a satin, almost matte finish. I've been getting more into matte lipstick lately. So if you're looking for a comfortable matte lipstick, I think you'll enjoy these. These do have a scent too. I think it's the same scent as this blush, like a almost like watermelon fruity scent, which I don't mind with lip products, but it is noticeable. The last product I wanted to share an update on is the Flower Beauty Plump Up Gloss Stick. So I did talk about these when I did my drugstore dupes video because I said they're not an identical dupe for the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips, but they're similar, and I sometimes like them better, depending on what type of look I'm going for. The Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips definitely have more of like a true glossy feel and finish. They feel a little bit thicker on the lips, whereas the Flower Beauty ones have almost more of like a balmy texture with a little bit of shine, and I do think that these look a little bit more pigmented on the lips. So if you're looking for a thinner formula than Tarte, if this feels a little bit too heavy for you, you might like the Flower Beauty one. I know this has been pointed out over and over. The Flower Beauty products only come with I think like half the amount of product that you get from the Tarte ones. So that is something to take into account if you're someone who uses up your lip products fully. I don't typically use up a lip product fully, so that's not always something I do consider, but it is something you might want to consider, especially because these go on sale fairly often, although the Flower Beauty ones are on sale right now, so that might be a good time to try them out. They don't have as many colors in the Flower Beauty lipsticks as they do Tarte, but again, I feel like the formulas are different. So some days I want something very light, a little bit more balmy with like a slight hint of shine, and that's when I'll reach for these. They're basically like lightweight, glossy, sheer lipsticks. So I think they're really pretty on the lips. I wear the shade Toasty all the time. Like it's become one of my go-to shades. So I love these. I think I would like to pick up one more, maybe like a berry toned one, because I feel like that would be really fun for the spring as well. But again, not an identical dupe, they're different, but I feel like they have like a similar vibe. So if you like these, or if you didn't like these and you want something thinner, definitely check out Flower Beauty. Okay, that's everything I wanted to share with you in today's video. I just wanted to update you on all of the drugstore and affordable makeup products I've been testing out over the last few weeks. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope it was helpful for you. I'll make sure that I link everything and all of the shades that I featured in the description box below in case you want to check out the products or you just want to reference it. But thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye.